have a question for Ms. Farley, and this has to do with the issue of prostitution. And isn't it the case that the entry into the prostitution, more often than not, is before adulthood? Yes. That the young children have no choice and no formed autonomous judgment contra the claims of, well, this is another form of work.
Yes, this is true. The most common age of entry into prostitution is adolescence. However, I would point out that when those adolescents blow out the birthday candles on their 18th birthday, they don't suddenly become free choice-making grown-ups. They're still exploited, harmed, neglected individuals who simply happen to turn 18, then 19, then 20, and frankly, 50 today, without assistance in escape and exit.
Any other questions? Jeff, go ahead.
Well, your presentation is brilliant, really, extremely important. I would just add that there are other regions that are probably rivaling the desperation. The Sahel on the other side of the desert is probably in equal distress. At least the northern side has some pockets of wealth and some access to the sea, whereas the Sahel is similarly drying, but the poverty is completely pervasive because across the Sahel there's no infrastructure and basically no oil and a disaster. I think the only thing I would add is that I think the recommendations need to be much bolder, actually, because small-scale change will not handle the kind of crisis that we're describing. This is overwhelming. And the rich countries in the region, especially Saudi Arabia, there's a main lesson, which is it's a lousy idea to spend $120 billion on weapons, which is the latest purchase when we have this disaster in the neighborhood. And a war with Iran is really poorly timed when both are going to be under the sand soon enough. So I think somehow getting the message out more clearly within the region would be a fantastic thing to do. We're going to be opening shortly a SDG Center for the Arab region that I'd like to talk to you about because I think it's extraordinarily important. When we were in Tehran, by the way, recently, it was just dust storms the entire time. Shocking, actually. It looked like black carbon, but it was just dust. Black sky completely. So I congratulate you on this, but the drama cannot be met by small-scale action. As you know, this requires not only that we control the climate change, because if we don't do that, there's no hope. You can't keep up with this. But even with global control, this will be overwhelming. All the surface water is drying, the lakes are disappearing, the water tables are disappearing. So it's a great drama.
Some final words, very short. Professor? Yes, sure, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to emphasize, this is, in my opinion, heading towards a cliff. The problem is the population have no connection. The leadership does, but it's not democratic, it's very authoritarian, and they're keeping the secrets to themselves. I talk to people, I go there, visit, and when I mention, climate change, it's kind of taken as a joke, ridiculed and so on. So That's, I think, a problem. Like in Chile, the example is that the population were supportive of the change and everything else. So I don't know. I mean, would love to think about big, bold, authoritarian leaders could actually maybe help in a way implement it rather than wait from the grassroots up.
Very good. Thank you very much. Again.